Hi, I'm Sam Orlich, product specialist here in Madrid, Spain for Heritage Audio. And today we're going to be going over another product from our very popular Elite series. This one is the HA-73 EQX2. Now we're going to go over the different connections on the back panel of the HA-73 EQX2. First thing you're going to want to do is take your power supply unit, plug that in right where it says power. Then take a signal, for example, from a microphone. So the output of the mic would show up on a XLR male. Slip that into the input right where it says microphone input. Then you grab another cable, another XLR, and you take the female side of the cable, plug that into the output. You take the other extreme of the cable, the male end, and plug that into your interface, your sound card, maybe even a tape machine, or a processor, or wherever you'd like to go after. And that's really all there is to it. Now I'd like to go over the different features that our Elite Series HA-73 EQX2 has to offer. First thing you're going to see is a 1/4-inch jack input, and this is actually DI. Once again, using our famous JFET circuitry, and that is located before the input transformer, so that can be useful if you need to force it a little bit. Okay, let's turn it on. Next button you're going to see here is a 48-volt button, and this is to power out phantom power to your microphones. If you're using condenser mics, that'll be necessary. Directly below that, you're going to see another button for line, in this case, and what that does is that takes the input from the line XLR on the back. You've got two inputs on the back, one for mics and another for line level signals. This simply tells the preamp to recognize the line level input. Up here we've got the pad button, and that's a simple -20 dBs. Directly below that is another button. This is interesting now. This is called low Z, and what it does is it drops down from 1200 ohms down to a much lower impedance of 300. That can be really convenient if you're working with older microphones, or in particular ribbon mics. But it can also come in handy for some extra creative control. A little bit different tonality. Okay, then up would be our gain knob, and this is 80 dBs of gain in 5 dB steps, so it's very easy to recreate. Next up, this is our high shelf filter, and this is at 12 kilohertz, and you've got approximately more or less 15 dBs of cut or boost. Next up would be our mid-band peak, and here what you do if you've got a frequency selector on the outer ring. On the inner knob, you're actually controlling how many dBs you're boosting or cutting. Once again, you've got about 15 dBs there to work with, either way, either direction. Then we've got the low shelf filter. Once again, this is a ring to select the frequencies on the outside. And on the inside, you've got the gain or the cut, the boost or the cut. Once again, about 15 dBs either way. Then last up, you'll see the low cut filter or the high pass filter. And once again, here you've got 4 different frequencies to choose from. And that's a cut of about -3 dBs. Rather gentle, but effective. And then we've got the output, and this is a fully variable pot, so you can really tone in on exactly the output level you're interested in carrying on to the next unit, whether it be your interface or maybe a compressor or an EQ. You can set it exactly. Then we've got a button over here, which simply activates the EQ or disengages it. And then you've got a button for phase, which simply flips the polarity 180 degrees. Then your on-off button for the power. I'd also like to mention that we do offer a single channel version of this. Exact same equipment, identical in every way, just a simple single channel version called the HA-73 EQ. Okay, I hope that clears things up for you, but if you still have any questions or doubts, you can always feel free to get in contact with us through our webpage.